everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday. Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Yo! You probably hear my fan over there. I'm trying to bring the fan speed down because it is stupid hot. I just came back from walking the doggos. It is stupid hot. You can probably see the sweat on my forehead still. Oh, yuck. And my hair is still a mess, but we don't care about all that because this is not my money maker. My money maker is the trades, what we're gonna talk about. And boy, oh boy, let's talk about money makers because you had core replay out today. You had Bitcoin launching to the north side, FUTU going up a little bit more. What else am I trying to forget over here? I'm there's nothing else to really talk about other than Bitcoin going up. So hold on, the music's too loud. Music's way too loud. Let me bring the music down. So monster breakout on Bitcoin today above 112,000. Obviously that's going to take stocks like IBIT, Coinbase, even some small cap stocks like BTCM. I think that's the ticker. Don't quote me. But some small cap cryptocurrency stocks also blasting off. Probably Clean Spark, CLSK, and so on. So monster moves across the board happening at the moment. And obviously at the worst time because I'm still on vacation. I'm not really doing any extra trading at the moment other than managing my swing account, so obviously missing out on a lot of opportunities here on the day trade, but I could have traded today if I wanted to. I just said nah. I'm just gonna stick to my rules, which is take the staycation, take the vacation that I was looking to take, and have a nice little reset off the market. But it is so hard to have the reset off the market when you're getting moves like this. Look at this Bitcoin move. So this is the all-time high breakout that happened today, and then you had a nice little flat consolidation right before the all-time high, which is a new all-time high, and then another all-time high into 117,000 on Bitcoin over here. So I just love seeing these moves at the moment. Stepping up to the north side across the board, and money to be made, ladies and gentlemen. Money to be made across the board. The tech sector, QQQ, a little weak, but then you can see how S&P 500, IWM, Dow Jones, Jones. All three of those markets were green on the day, and they are looking good. Basically some rotation away from the large cap stocks, the tech stocks that have seen a lot of recovery at the moment. I mean, you're talking about a near 100% move on Nvidia, more than 100% move, maybe not, 50% move on Meta, another 50% or more percent move on Microsoft over here, just shy of 50% move on Microsoft. So these are monster moves across the board for the large cap stocks, and now you're potentially seeing some deleveraging away from the large cap names and some money being moved into the small cap sectors and so on, waiting for some pullbacks on these names to kind of join the trend. I'm just speculating what the hedge funds and the big money are doing, but at the end of the day, that's not our job. We are not analysts. Our job is not to predict the market. Our job is not to give price targets and look see where the horoscopes align to see where the stock goes. No, that's not our job. Our job is to take advantage of setups, of trades that show up, and that's exactly where CoreWeave was today. CoreWeave was, if you ignored this candle, let's go right there. So this is yesterday, and we talked about this setup yesterday. If CoreWeave starts to look weak under 149, under 150, there was a monster short opportunity setting up that you had to keep an eye on. And if you didn't, you would have missed out. Look at how the stock sets up. It opens, gets below that key level that I was talking about for the last 2 days, right? Holds below 148, does not have a single buying pressure above 148 at all after the initial opening drive. Was there enough buying in this area? If there was enough buying in this area, we would have easily reclaimed 148 and then not go below 148 for the later half of the day. But because that story was the other way around, you got constant selling under 148. They try to hold this 146 area. You had a nice little opening range breakdown there. You had a nice second chance scalp over here, another second chance scalp over here, another low a day breakdown over there, and it's just these are the trades I live for. I die for these trades. Sadly, I guess I die for this trade today because I didn't trade it. But had I been in the market today, had I actually looked for some executions to pull out instead of just being in my vacation, you can see how CoreWeave was a #1 priority. Any stock with the purple color is a high priority. We also talked about JD last night. JD didn't really set up for the way I wanted it to. I said I want to see weakness below 31. Yeah, it kind of qualifies if it's weak below 31.30, but I want to see weakness below 31. No relative volume on the stock, no fresh catalyst, and also it did not play out exactly how I want to, so no trade on JD. Whereas CoreWeave, no relative volume, well maybe not, no relative volume because we still traded below the 30-day average volume. So no relative volume, no fresh catalyst, other than the fact that the market or tech stocks in general were weak today. And the only thing that was in play is the setup. The setup was in play, and you take advantage of these type of opportunities out there. So today I have more trades like this ready for us to talk about. I'm very excited to talk about my watches for tonight. So let's talk about some of the stocks on there. If you watch the YouTube stream, you know that we have the thumbnail for Levi's. If you're watching the thumbnail for Levi, you're probably asking, Prad, what the heck is wrong with you? I don't know. I was just having a lot of fun. I couldn't figure out if I wanted another Bitcoin thumbnail or another different thumbnail. I already have 2 Bitcoin thumbnails back to back. I didn't want to do a three-peat, so I kind of switched it up. Hopefully you guys like this little comedic effect from me coming into play. But let's talk about the hot movers, the swing trades, the day trades, the portfolio management that I am looking to partake in potentially starting next week. But we do have one more business day, which is tomorrow. We have today Thursday. One more business day, which is tomorrow, Friday. And let's see if there's any trades over there that you guys could take advantage in, because I'm gonna go back to work Monday. So we'll see how opportunity set up for that. But for tomorrow, let's continue with the first name on the list. I don't want to start with Grinder, but we could start with Grinder. You know what? Let's just start with Grinder. Grinder is a similar setup, kind of like I want to say not really like CoreWeave, but it's a similar to CoreWeave in a way where you know, you had that initial run up, and then the initial run up is now stalling out. You have a clear support base just above a key level that we're finding buyers above, but the second the stock doesn't find buyers above this level, I think that opens up some room to the downside, potentially some room to the 200-day moving average, or even lower depending on you know, what the weakness in the stock is. But the main plan is looking for the weakness around $21 over here on Grinder. I know Dieter is on the Grinder app, even though he says he has a girlfriend now. I know Dieter is on the Grinder app 24/7. So let's see if Dieter's gonna be happy with its app stock. Dieter's probably not even here. He's supposed to be on vacation, but he is in the chat. Sexy, he goes. Beyonce, why Beyonce? I mean, come on, Beyonce was in the Levi's thumbnail. I had to use Beyonce. It's funny as hell. At least I thought it was funny as hell. Barkit asking about TA on Oscar and APP. One of my other friends also asked me to do some technical analysis on Oscar, and honestly, I'm not a big fan of like health tech companies. You saw how hesitant I was in looking to trade HIMS on my swing account, and when it dropped like a rock, I told you exactly why I don't like to trade health tech stocks. Health tech stocks are just so hit and miss in my opinion, whereas like Nvidia, you know, like invest in businesses that you know a little bit about. When it comes to health tech and stuff like that, I really don't know shit, right? I don't know what drug is what are they working on. They use big words. I just rather not bother with all that information. I'm already an anti-vaxxer, for those of you who have been watching me for a really long time. I hated being jabbed by the COVID vaccinations and so on. So when it comes to these health tech stocks, I just stay away from them. So for Oscar, I don't like to buy these names. So if you're looking to buy it, that's my answer for that. But if you want just pure technical analysis and not my opinion on this stock, the pure technical analysis is the chart looks horrible. The chart looks like absolute dog shit at the moment. You got a triple top. The stock is pushing back into the 200-day moving average. The 200-day moving average is on a slope to the downside. If the stock was supposed to go, it should have gone right here, or it should have held $20 on the pullback and then blasted off. It did not do that. But for example, there's a chart that looks very similar to this, PSNL. So here you go. PSNL makes that run up after rejecting, pulls back, oh my god, after rejecting, pulls back and holds at a higher low, holds at the 9 EMA, and then now breaks out the high, failed breakout, but then still holding in this area. Whereas Oscar is not doing that, right? Oscar is doing complete opposite of that. It's now rejecting it, pushing into the downside, going into the 200-day moving average. So if you look at the chart, just pure technical basis, this is not a good chart at the moment. Maybe when it does go into the $12 area where we have a clear support, seems like there's a support area from $14 to $12 or so. Maybe there's some support that can show up again, at which point, you know, yeah, it's much better to go long in this area, because if we do get below 10, you're wrong, you move on, you take a $3 per hit loss, you take a $4 per hit loss, and you move away from it. But if this area also doesn't hold, then, you know, clearly I was right about how ugly this chart looks, and it's just not worth going long into. Oscar, I want to see what the daily average range is, 8%. So this is probably why people are very excited about Oscar, and they keep talking about it. I have a lot of friends who mention Oscar almost every single day for me to take a look at. I'm just not interested to put my money to work on these names. I rather put my money to work on stocks like DELL or you know, I have Nvidia, I have Hood in my account, so I rather put my money into stocks or into companies where I actually have a little bit of a clue as to what's going on, and the chart looks decent also compared to the other one. So that's my problem with Oscar. For APP, the other problem with APP over here is not that I don't know what's going on, it's more of too much back and forth news catalyst. You have the short seller report, then you have the earnings reports coming up and boosting the stock up. You have the company itself coming out and saying that the short seller reports are absolute fugazi and nonsense. At the end of the day, it just comes down to, you know, how do you want to trade it? Do you want to trade it off of the fundamentals? Do you want to trade it off of the short report? Do you want to trade it off of the earnings reports? Or do you want to maybe, you know, have a complete picture of all of that, including the technical analysis? So if you're including all of the earnings reports, the short reports, and the technical analysis, there's a clear indication that right now this looks very much like a head and shoulders. So let me quickly head and shoulders chart pattern. Really, you don't want to say that that's a head and shoulders? That's pretty surprising. I would have thought that this would have shown up as a head and shoulders. It did not. But anyways, left shoulder, right shoulder, you got the head. And if I remember correctly, head and shoulders is usually to the downside. I always forget how these patterns play out. Head and shoulders pattern. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Knees and toes. Come on. No way. Yeah, so short at the break of the neckline. You see how this is a left shoulder, right shoulder, the head over here. You take the short on the break of the neckline. I like to do it in a different way. Oh, before this video starts, let's pause it. This guy is actually someone I'm trying to you know, bother a little bit because he's an ex-SMB Capital trader. He left SMB Capital and became an absolute legend. So I'm going to bother him on his Discord channel. Coming back to head and shoulders pattern, the way I like to trade head and shoulders pattern is actually get short here. Not on the break of the trend line, but in this area, you get short and then you can have a stop here instead of having a stop here and starting your trade on the break of the neckline. I don't like the neckline. The neckline is too far away from where the stop should be. You know, if you are short here and the stock does reclaim this 450 high area, there is no more short after that, right? It's just simply no more short. I don't know why you would have to give it to that risk. I also don't know why you would have to wait till you get down here and then break down to enter the short. I just don't like to play head and shoulders that way. I play it a little bit differently, but looking at the chart for APP, you know, you got the left shoulder, you got the right shoulder, potentially moving back into the neckline, shorting somewhere here, risking above 450 doesn't sound like a bad idea. But if you are looking for a long, this chart doesn't seem too bad for the long at the moment either. You got the rising 200 EMA, you got the consolidation over here right at the 50-day moving average. The 50-day moving average is also sloping to the upside. The 9-day moving average is flattening out and potentially going back up once the stock goes back up. This little, it's not really a hammer, but you know, it's showing you that it tried to push lower today and it failed to push lower. It failed to push lower and pushed back up. So once the stock actually gets above this little 362 area, potentially some move back into 417, and then we'll see if there's resistance at 417 and then a possible breakout above 417, 417.50 for an even bigger move higher, or a reject over there and then it crumbles, right? So a couple scenarios, couple permutations that could play out for the long and the short side. No clear-cut thesis as to what I want to do with this trade. It's also very expensive. The volume is absolutely trash. 5 million shares for a 300 million for a $300 stock. That means the spread is going to be ugly. So it just doesn't excite me to look at this name for the swing trade or the day trade at the moment. Once the, you know, catalyst picks up, maybe during the earnings season, which is coming up very soon. You can see how the stock reports in 27 days, less than a month from now. So once the stock does report, obviously it will be in play, and then we can talk about it then for a day trade and for potentially for a swing trade. If you are itching, you know, you need a trade for some reason, and this is the only stock that you can trade, there could be a long in this area, but your stop is basically the 200-day moving average. Your stop is $300 and you are going long at 340, 350. So can you stomach a $50 drop on this stock. If you can, then maybe you can go long here. If you can't stomach a $50 drop, then just don't go long. That's basically the idea behind the market. Think about where the stock can go and be wrong for you. If you can stomach that, go trade it. If you can't stomach where the stock can go and be wrong for you, then just wait for the stock to go down to that level and then trade that said level, right? It will be much easier for you to execute then around that idea. Let me quickly mark down a couple timestamps over here because I want to make some shorts out of that. Okay, let's see what's going on in the chat. I'm not even doing my watch list anymore because you guys completely confused me over here. Let's see what else is in the chat. NBIS bounce off of 45 just like you said. Let me see NBIS. I wouldn't call that a bounce. I mean, yeah, it did not get below 45. Yes. Woohoo! Awesome. But I wouldn't call that a bounce, right? This is it could break tomorrow. It possibly did one ATR move today, so let's go check out if it did. NBIS, one ATR is $3, and it basically moved from high to low $3. So I wouldn't call that a bounce in any way or form. Maybe I'm being a little nitpicky over here with you and being annoying, so I'll stop being annoying. Yes, it kind of showed you support above previous support zones, 45. Once it gets below 45, that really kills the long trade. So like I said, I already took my loss on this name. I was long 50 to 55 area. I added above 55, but then once we got below 48, I said that does not look good. Yes, my stop should have been 45, but that does not look good. So let me just quickly take my loss and then see if I can get back in later on the stock. So potentially somewhere in this area, if I can see a couple days holding, 2 days, 3 days holding in this area, kind of like ALAB. That's a great example to bring up. So kind of like ALAB, when it pulls back and builds that base into the low end of that range, builds a base in the low end of that range, and then starts to go back higher. Hopefully it doesn't do what ALAB did, which is after breaking out today, it completely pulled back. So ALAB did upset me a little bit, but I did not close my position because like I told you, my position stop is under the 200-day moving average. We just now got the golden cross on this name, so I'm not gonna take a loss so quickly on this name because I have high hopes, high plans for the stock. However, hope is not the name you want to keep an eye in your vocabulary for trading. So when it comes to NBIS, Barkey, NBIS, not the prettiest chart at the moment, but it's also not the ugliest chart. I mean, you're still above the 200-day moving average. It is potentially waiting for the 50-day moving average to catch up with the chart. Once the 50-day moving average catches up, like for example, it trades in this area. If it trades around 45 to 47, the 50 moving average catches up. Once the 50 moving average catches up, we start to go higher. We start to go higher. What am I saying? We start to go back higher on NBIS, and it looks much better at that point. So right now, I don't want to be back in this name for a little while. We'll patiently wait to see what happens with that position. Victor's in the house. What up, Victor? Hood stock made me money this year. Yes, sir. Hood is my #1 symbol in my portfolio. Yo, just in streaming right now, but I'll be good to game maybe around 9:30 p.m. or 10 p.m. EST. Good luck on your runs, my G. All right, move on. So HUD, yeah, Robinhood, obviously my #1 stock out there in my portfolio. It's either this or Planet Labs. I can't remember, or maybe it's Nvidia now. Honestly, it might be Nvidia now. But the story is, I'm long from 66. It's made me quite a bit of money this month, so I'm absolutely happy, and I'm looking forward to see if Robinhood gets above $100. Another stock that looks very similar to Robinhood is SoFi, and SoFi is looking very, very damn bullish. Another new high today, so can't complain with these financial names currently going back to the upside. I mean, Robinhood just simply rejects to trade below the 9-day moving average. I don't know who is buying this name so systematically, but it just rejects to close below the 9-day moving average. Awesome chart. This reminds me of another stock that went crazy and just rejected to trade below the 9-day moving average for a very long time. Okay? For a very long time. And this is how you put yourself in these names. If you are able to stick to your plan, stick to your rules. My rule is the 9 EMA, the 10 EMA. And then obviously I change my rules a little bit based on a big volatile candle like this candle over here. And I told you how I don't want to see the stock below the halfway point of that candle, which is 90 bucks. And the 90 bucks lined up with the 9 EMA, 9-day moving average. It's just like the stars and the moons and the Jupiters are all lining up for you. What more do you want at that point? So Robinhood potentially giving us $100 move above 100 bucks very soon again, and interested for that for the day trade and for the swing trade, especially with Bitcoin, BTC, USD above 112k. Obviously, Coinbase is another name to express that trade idea, which is now going into 400. I would love for Coinbase to go parabolic so I could short the crap out of this name. So please go higher so I could short the crap out of you. MSTR breaking out also. MSTR is maybe the worst stock to invest in the Bitcoin trade for yourself, because they basically dilute themselves so they can pay dividends to people who own STRK and all the other mutual fund ETFs that the MSTR may. I don't even know if you can call them mutual funds, but you guys get the idea that I'm talking about. So not the best name to express the Bitcoin idea, but I'm still in this one. I'm in this one using MSTU, which is a leverage ETF, and looking to enjoy this run up. I'm already in the money on this bad boy. Last but not least will be IBIT. This, in my opinion, is the best way to express the long on Bitcoin, because it is a direct one-to-one, maybe not, but direct relationship with the spot Bitcoin market. As Bitcoin goes up or goes down, this should be doing exactly that, whereas MicroStrategy could sometimes deviate from Bitcoin, could sometimes really align with Bitcoin like it did before. Same with Coinbase, sometimes aligns with Bitcoin, sometimes deviates from Bitcoin, usually around earnings season and so on. So just keep an idea of how you want to express that Bitcoin trade for yourself. No one beats final boss old man time. We all need healthcare. Yes, we need healthcare, but I just don't know what to do with the healthcare stocks. Maybe because I've taken like a couple of decent losses on them, I just stay away from it. Also, this is a rule that Steven Dux, who made $10 million yesterday shorting BMNR, his rule is, I don't want to buy biotech stocks. Why? Garbage. I'm not going to trade them. If that's the case, if someone who's making 10 million in a day says, I don't want to trade garbage names like that, I'm okay with that concept. I'm very much okay with that concept. Do you use a specific breaking news service, or you don't do breaking news? I do breaking news, but the problem with my service is Benzinga is by far the latest, slowest service out there. Compared to like Bloomberg Terminal, compared to News Edge Terminal, and so on. But still, I do look for breaking news. I'm sponsored by Benzinga, so I probably shouldn't say all these negative things about them. Sponsored by Benzinga, but I'm just keeping it straight, keeping it at 100, keeping it fact, as the kids call it these days. There's better news tools out there that have faster services. I think News Edge is what one of my friends, Roberto, what's his last name? I forget his last name. Damn it. Roberto, he's on Twitter. He usually posts his videos of his trades, of his breaking news trades. So yeah, he uses News Edge Trade, I think. News Edge Trade. Benzinga not that bad. You just are not going to be the first one to the game. So in a breaking news trade, for example, BMNR yesterday, in a breaking news trade like that, you gotta accept that either you're first or you're last. And I have accepted that I'm last. So I'm never gonna get these prices, right? I'm never gonna get these prices, but I'm always okay to be trading around these prices, especially when you have that 3-bar setup over here, and that level comes into play also from the daily chart. So when things like that come into play, I'm okay with being late on the news because I can still catch the move down. Technically looks like capitulation over here, maybe not, maybe it does, but you know, if the trade is there, always looking to take advantage of that. That question's coming from the Twitter chat from Rick, another SMB trader. Ooh, SMB traders have been engaging with me quite a bit. I'm scared. Does that make me a real trader now? No, I'm joking. Right shoulder short. Yes, that's clear. You're talking about what stock was I talking about that had the head and shoulder? APP. You're talking about APP, right? Good earnings from DAL and Levi. Hopefully the rest of the earnings are positive. That's right, baby. We talked about DAL briefly yesterday. Delta Airlines for the earnings report trade. I was more interested on the short side, if I was being honest with you. Or was I interested on the long side? I forget. No, I think I was interested in the long side because that's how I drew the lines over here. So I was interested on the long side, and the stock did play out that way. Beautiful reclaim of the 200-day moving average after breaking a nice little consolidation range that was going sideways for a little bit. So nice move over here. From now on out, Delta Airlines, you want to see it holding below, at the very least, the 200-day moving average on the dip. Today's low is 54.80. You could even round that up a little bit and say Delta Airlines, DAL, 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 DAL. There you are. Delta Airlines, I don't want to see the stock below 50. If it's below 50, then is it 50 or 55? Sorry, what's the number? 55. I don't want to see it below 55 tomorrow. If we pull back and hold above 55 on dips, that gives you a good long opportunity for the swing and for the day trade. But if 55 starts to fail, then you're now asking questions as to, you know, is this report even bullish? Even though there was a big volume spike on that stock, is this report even bullish? Levi, nice little breakout. If you look at Levi from October 2024 till date, the stock has been basically held under, stuffed under the $20 barrier, and finally getting above the $20 barrier after the earnings report, pushing into the $22 area. So clear levels, nothing to do other than just wait for the levels to come into play. Either we pull back into $20 and show you support at 20, or we break below 20. That's two trades right there, two trade ideas right there. Second, we either pull up to 22 and reject 22, or we pull up to 22 and we get ready for a breakout above 22. So that's 4 trade ideas on one stock. Very simple. You're just waiting to see what trade idea sets up tomorrow for you to take advantage on. So Levi, $22 and $21 on watch for a day 1 setup. So 22 here, 20, is it 21 or is it 20? 20. The 22 and 20, and the ATR of the stock is 50 cents. I'm guessing maybe you get $1 at best intraday range tomorrow overall. I didn't even read the earnings report. I don't think we need to, given that the stock blasted to the north side. Maybe, ooh, you know what? Let's actually use our good friend Perplexity, because we pay for it now. So since we pay for it, I think it's smart to use them, right? PTC, Southwest Airlines, United Airlines, basically leeching off the Delta Airlines. Yep, leeching off the Delta Airlines. Autodesk going down 6.8% today. What's going on with Autodesk over there? Levi, what did you do on the report side? Financial reports. Nope, that's not the one. Where are you? Hello? I swear, you used to show the earnings reports. Okay, well, they upgraded their annual forecasts. Earnings beat, clearly. Where is the goddamn... That's strange. They usually show you the... Oh, there you go. It's in its own tab now. Ah! It's in its own tab to the upside. Along with a bunch of new tabs too. Interesting. Man, I love Perplexity Finance. I've been playing with this a lot recently. They added this new feature. Now you can download a stock's minute-by-minute data. Isn't that cool? You can download any stock you want, minute-by-minute data. You can backtest with this. You can have a big database you know, all this information saved by downloading it day by day. You gotta love Perplexity. Anyways, coming back to earnings, beat by 5.5%, EPS beat by 57%. So monster move across the board. And from what I read really quickly on Perplexity Finance, they also upgraded their earnings report. Another stock or their guidance. Another stock that reported today after hours, WDFC, but barely any volume or really no volume at all. So watching how this stock sets up. Usually around earnings times, I have traded WDFC and it has given me good trades, mainly because of its ATR being $5. But one thing that you can't forget is the stock trades very, very, very low volume. 350,000 shares traded on a day-to-day basis. As a day trader, that does not get my boner hard, okay? It just makes me very, very bored and not excited about that name. FUTU, another day up for the stock over here, up 0.77%, not 77%, 0.77%. Futures red, 35% tariffs on Canada. I mean, I'm not worried about that. Futures will go down and they'll go back up. I'm not too bearish on this whole Trump tariff bull crap. Trump obviously is known to chicken out, Mr. Taco. So I'm moving on. I think the market at this point has shaken off Trump's tariff tantrum. You know, clearly he has been throwing the tantrum when the market was up here already, but you can see how the market just completely shakes it off and says, yeah, we don't care anymore. This is senile Trump being stupid, being a little child and trying to play his negotiation tactics. You know, he made fun of Joe Biden not being able to make a single call, but now it looks like he's not able to make a single call because 1 second he makes the tariff, second he pulls the tariffs. So it's like, you know, Trump, you can't even decide what you want, bro. So the market doesn't care about you anymore. At least that's how the market is showing to us. They're just shrugging off every single one of these new tariff tensions that we're having. But yes, obviously 35% tariff on Canada will bring the market a little bit to the downside, but I'm not too worried about it. Couple trades that could show up on that side is EWC. So 35% tariffs means the iShares MSCI Canada ETF will possibly push to the downside tomorrow and give you a good trade idea over there. So watch EWC for potential trade opportunities, easy shorts, especially if we're able to stay below 45.90/46. So if we're stay below 46 /45.90 tomorrow, just the automatic short. And honestly, I think we're gonna gap down. We might even gap down below whatever that is, 45. We might even gap down below 45 and struggle to trade above 45 all day tomorrow. So that might be a setup over there to keep an eye out for the Canada tariff trade deal. FUTU, nothing for the swing trade at the moment. You know, I would have loved to snag some shares here, but I was an absolute moron who did not buy shares at 130, and now I missed out $20 per share spike on this name. Hopefully a pullback and some consolidation around 130 for me to be interested in, but right now nothing to do on that side. Baba having a nice pop, exactly what you want to see. Did I not say I don't expect Baba to get below 100 tomorrow? Well, Baba didn't even get below 104.50 today. So Baba making a nice move back up at the moment. We'll see if you know, this reclaims the 200-day moving average. At the moment, nothing really to talk about. JD setting up for that beautiful bouncy ball. I made an Instagram short or a short video in general, and I posted it on all social media. So if you guys are interested to know what the setup is, go check out that video. It's on all socials, so you'll be able to find it very easily. The setup is basically to look for the short below $31, and that will open up a big trade to the downside for me. Similar like CoreWeave, similar to CoreWeave, I think we can expect a big move down once JD breaks that area and stays below that area. FXI is your Chinese ETF. Always keep an eye on it when you're trading Chinese names. Soundhound, nice little pullback. SoFi, we talked about that one already. No day trade, just my swing trade management and so on. Intel, who cares about Intel? Really, come on. If we're talking about semiconductors name, let's talk about ALAB instead. Let me delete Intel from my watch list. ALAB did get above 102 today in the pre-market, but failed to hold above 102 sadly. So still watching this 100 to 102 area as the key level on ALAB for the swing and for the day trade. Uber, Hood, these are all your regular day-to-day names that I watch no matter what. So Uber at the moment looking very much like Robinhood. You can see how this breakout candle halfway point is being respected. That's $95.30. Let's just say $95 flat. So it's respecting $95. You get the 9-day moving average moving into the low of this area, and I'm sure once we touch that low area potentially Monday or Tuesday when the crypto week starts to go crazy. Not that Uber has anything to do with crypto, but once the actually, don't they have Bitcoin on their books? I think they do. Anyways, coming back to the story, once we do continue to hold this and the 9-day moving average catches up, you can expect a breakout above 97 and a nice little move up to the north side. So Uber, Robinhood, all these stocks are a regular watch. Palantir's in that basket too. SMCI is in that basket too. So these are your regular watch stocks that I'm going to keep an eye on every single day, no matter what. ANAT did pull back today. Oh no, did I miss the pullback? Oh, I was not watching ANET today. God damn it. I was just so infatuated with the ALAB pullback that I was honestly scared about ALAB pulling back the way it did. So I was not looking at ANET at all, and I forgot about ANET today. Nice pullback and a bounce right to the upside. That's showing you that the person or algo or system, whatever you want to call it, the buyer from yesterday is still buying today, and they bought all the dips back up on the move today. So overall, the stock closed exactly break even on the day, with ending 0.01 penny above last night. So ANET looking like some excitement coming into play. Might have to eat just bite the bullet and just take the long above 107 if we do break out above 107 tomorrow. But it is not a 3-bar play. That's not the 3-bar play over here, just so you guys know. GSAP, please tell me you pulled back and you didn't blast off. Okay, you know what? I'll take that. That's better than what you've been doing the last few days. So nice little consolidation above 27, which is exactly what I want to see on GSAT. This is a name that had a partnership with SpaceX recently. Boeing, did you give me a pullback? Not bad. Nice little red day on Boeing over here, just below 230. This one potentially worth keeping an eye on to see how it trades above 230 or on a pullback into this range low over here at 219, 220-ish or so. So pull back into 220 or a breakout above 230. Worth keeping an eye on. I said CAG. Oh, baby! We talked about this stock yesterday, and look how awesome that short was. We talked about how the stock was... Oh, no, hold on. Let me quickly timestamp this one. 840. Look at this one. Talked about this yesterday. The plan was, if the stock has a negative earnings report, look for that big move below that monster weekly level. This weekly level comes from 2018, and right now you got a nice little 3-bar play on the weekly chart going into that level. You also got a little consolidation going into that level on the daily chart right before the earnings report. So all you needed to do is wait for the earnings report. The earnings report came out negative. It flushed, it bounced, was not able to get back above the $20 area. There's your short. There is your short right there. So taking advantage of trades like these, of setups like these, is how you can make that quick dollar, baby, that sweet cheddar cheese. So monster trade over here on CAG. Obviously, probably a name that a lot of people weren't even having on their radar. It's not your Nvidias and core weaves and circles. So very hidden trade. You would have only found it if you were watching your boy TraderPrad Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. on all streaming platforms. Okay, come hang out with me. We talk about a lot of fun stuff over here. So CAG, that was a good short. I think you can continue to watch this stock if it pops and stays weak below 20. Let's say 1950, because that's actually where the halfway marker for today is. If we are not able to reclaim 1950, that's even better, because that just means that sellers are now showing up at 1950 instead of waiting for $20. So sellers are moving down, and that's exactly what you want to see for a bigger move to the downside on this name. So 1950 to $12, $20 is the area that I'm watching for CAG to keep an eye on for a day 2 setup. BMNR, not sure if there is a setup on this one at the moment. Ooh, another red day on BMNR. I'll be honest, I expected a gap up and a test of 90, but nope, another move back down into this $40 area. And you know what? I could be stupid enough to look for a trade here. I probably am stupid enough to look for a trade here. So if this stock holds $41 tomorrow, I'll keep an eye out for it. There could be some sort of a ridiculous long that could play out, given how Ethereum at the moment, ETH USD is going up, given how cryptocurrencies are going up. If I remember correctly, BMNR was supposed to have Ethereum on their holdings, on their books. So does the theory sound that stupid? Not really, right? So if we hold 41, if we're holding $40, I think looking for a long on BMNR is not the worst thing out there. Amazon still in that range. My alerts have not gone off yet, but once Amazon alerts go off, we're ready to party with that trade. 224.30, 224 area. Keep some alerts over there. Google actually walked back up. I'm pretty surprised with that. Google going back up, even with all these what's it called? Browsers, all these browser conversations floating around. I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter talk about how, you know, they are actually going to switch from Google Chrome onto the Perplexity browser. And you can see how I have every single browser known to man. Down here, there's 3 browsers, and I use all 3 of them depending on the uses that I have. But one thing that I cannot get away from is Google Chrome. You can see how I always have, you know, millions of tabs on Google Chrome, even though I know that Google Chrome is by far the most resource extensive, you know, kills your computer with bad optimization of software and of code. It just kills your computer, but I cannot get away from Google Chrome. But if people who I know who had the same issue are able to get away from Google Chrome because of the Perplexity browser or because of AI-based agent browsers, that's saying something. So I'm wondering if Google is going to have a lot of trouble here if they don't innovate. I actually see a new feature on Google recently. They added this tab feature. I mean, why is this feature new? This feature should have been in Google Chrome like at 2015. Why is this feature new? How am I just getting this feature? This is ridiculous. And you know, Google hasn't innovated since the extensions came out. So it's crazy to think that you know, I have been using the Chrome browser for so long when there have been better utility browsers out there this whole time. That just goes to show how much Google captivates you and holds you onto their platforms and onto their browsers. So if people are willing to dump Google browsers for other browsers because of the AI capabilities, that shows you that Google is falling behind. And if they don't do something to fight that, they're gonna lose this battle badly. So, you know, the long term, the big picture, how I'm thinking about it, my mind is all over the place. But when it comes to the chart's very simple. You got a nice opportunity setting up above 181. Right now, the market is not really giving you breakout trades. You know, every breakout almost pulls back right back to the downside. ALAB, for example, Palantir, for example, every breakout you go right back and you shake people out. So breakouts are not the way to trade at the moment, but I'm still going to look for that breakout entry right around 181 for the swing account. For the day trade, if the stock is able to hold above 181, that is all systems go for the day trade. Imagine the stock gaps up, pulls back, holds above 181, and then goes higher. There's your trade right there. Exactly how CAG set up, right? Gaps lower, reverses, rejects 20, and then goes back down. Same thing for Google. Gaps higher, pulls back to 180, 182 somewhere, holds that level, goes back higher. That's the trade I'm looking for on Google for the day trade and for the swing trade, basically. Nvidia is too far gone for the swing account at the moment, but it's never too far gone for the day trade, so always watching it. 164.50 is the high of day today. If we get a move above 164.50, you know, more fun over there for us to partake in. I don't even bother putting notes for these large cap stocks most of the time because I already know the levels that I'm going to be trading around. So I just end up being lazy on these stocks most of the time because I just know the game plan on them anyways. CoreWeave, nice little short on that today. We talked about that briefly. But what is the plan on this name tomorrow? Exact same plan. You wait for the pop and you get short. So if the stock pops up around today's VWAP, which is 144, keep an eye out for that 144 area to act as a resistance. If we do get above 144, 145, I think we easily go back to 150. So keep an eye out for these areas on CoreWeave to join the day 2 trend short. CoreWeave over there. Let's quickly go to Circle. Circle, momentum dying out, volume dying out, and my interest to trade the stock is dying out also. So not really cared about that one. IBIT, this is probably a high priority name tomorrow. We're already gapping up in the after. Oh my god, what? I gotta check my account. What? I did not expect that. I thought we'd be like at 65 or something. I did not expect 69, 66 coming into play. Not 69, sorry. 66 coming into play over here. Let's go. So far is my best stock at the moment. BBI, my second best stock. Planet Labs, my third best. Nvidia, MicroStrategy, Robinhood, IBIT, Dell, SMCI, CELH, Amazon, Coupang, and last but not least, in the red, ALAB. So IBIT at the moment only up 4%, but the money I'm seeing looks very juicy, looks amazing. So let's see, baby. Bitcoin keep climbing up, obviously only up 4% because you know, I bought the stock yesterday and today. I bought the stock yesterday around this area, and then I bought the stock today around this area somewhere. So obviously loving the run up right now. We'll see if Bitcoin gets slammed back down somehow. I don't think it will, but if Bitcoin gets slammed back down somehow, then I need to obviously protect me downside. Protect me downside, mate. Okay, Coinbase, we talked about this one. Nice little breakout today, real quick to the north side. For the swing account, I think it's too far gone. Okay, way too far gone. There's no going long here on Coinbase for the swing account. But for the day trade, amazing trades coming into play just from the whole cryptocurrency nonsense, right? Just from the whole cryptocurrency nonsense, amazing day trades. I'm mainly looking to short every single pop on this name if it gets above 400. So once we get above 400, I am ready to short every pop on the name for the day trade. And then once the stock goes really parabolic, something like how MicroStrategy did over here, once the stock, Coinbase is right now in this area, okay? This is Coinbase. So once Coinbase does this, it does this, then we're looking for the first red day short setup coming into play on that bad boy. ARKK possibly still going higher, obviously, because they own Coinbase. So ARKK going up. COHR, oh, finally going back up on COHR. Not bad over there. Datadog, is it going down like I expected? Bang, 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 bang. Did I not say expect the gap close on this stock? Your boy Praddy Daddy just gave you another free trade. Look at that short setup over there on Datadog. All you had to do was get short below 142, 141, and a nice little gap close trade coming into play on that bad boy. Look, all you have to do is show up to my streams and I'll give you all the trades you want. Obviously, it's your job to execute at the end of the day, because execution is the only thing that makes you money, not trade ideas. If trade ideas made me money, I'd be a billionaire. But execution is the name of the game. Make sure you're executing well. Make sure you're putting proper rules in place, risk management, use stops, size appropriately, and make that sweet cheddar cheese. Obviously, in this game, it's not just about making money. There's also losses, so you got to manage both. You got to manage the winners, manage the losers. For example, I had to lose on NBIS. How much did I lose? Doesn't even matter, because I made 3 times, 4 times the loss on this one name just on one ticker on another stock. Okay, so it's just risk management playing out. risk management playing out at its best capabilities. That's all you got to do, guys. The name of the game is to make money, yes, but it's also to protect the money you made. Protect the profits. Okay, what is the chat going on over here? What's the chat saying? Any new messages that I did not read? Did Pratt say Coinbase? Victor and Coinbase. Victor is, he's like going out of his way to spite me about Coinbase. He like messages me every single day. He's like, did you see Coinbase? It's up. I'm like, I can't wait to short the stock. So, you know what? I'm happy for you, Victor. I'm happy for Hood going up for me and you, but I'm happy for you for Coinbase going up. I'll be happy for myself after I get the short on Coinbase, okay? How about that? We read that point already. I also took a hit on NBIS, Pratt, a day before you did. I got out at 48. Yeah, basically the same price I got out too. So not a bad exit over there. You know, aren't you happy that you got out at 48? Because now it's at 45. What happens if it breaks 45? It's going to go even more lower. So you want to be careful. I think you did the right thing. I was explaining this to one of my friends. I'd rather take a loss and then get back in later instead of watching the stock go down all the way, and then I'm wondering am I an investor now? I was a swing trader, but am I now an investor in the stock? Am I now holding the stock for the rest of my life until it goes back to break even? That's what I did with SoFi. That's exactly what I did with FLT, and you know, it worked out on SoFi, it worked out on Palantir, but how did it work out on FLT on a Canadian stock? Oh my God! What the way? Yes! I'm about to break even on the stock. I gotta find my account. No way. Oh man, I'm choking on my own saliva. This is insane. I'm actually going to break even on the stock? No way, dude. I had this stock for how long? For 4-5 years against me. I had it at $2 and we're finally moving back up. You know, actually, who was it? Hegset? Who's the military guy in Trump's administration? Is it Hegset? I think it's Hegset, right? Anyways, whoever the military guy is, he said they need more drones. What does FLT do? They create drones for Canada, but they create drones and they recently, actually a day before today, they delivered like a contract. They delivered on a contract and so on. So this is just even better. I'm actually going to not lose on a single stock. No, actually that's not true. I lost on a bunch of stocks. But this is awesome. Every stock that I owned 5 years ago, I'm going to either break even or make money on them. That's amazing. That's amazing. This is maybe guys, maybe, you know, you end up becoming an investor when you're wrong on the stock and you pray for it to go back up. This is an example that it works 90% of the time, every time. Or no, it works 60% of the time, every time. Man, that's insane. I was trying to pull up FLT to show you guys that, you know, you don't become a bag holder, but that stock kind of didn't work out as a good example. I'm just happy it's going back up. Let's go, baby. Let's go. It needs to still go another $1. So I'm back 50%. I'm back 50% on that name. Insane. Oh, man. I gotta actually message one of my buddies and tell him that the stock is going back up. It's Luca. You guys know Luca. Yeah, I gotta tell Luca. He's the one who told me to buy that stock, and now it's going back up. What a time to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man, what a time to be alive. Mark is tanking because the Trump tweet. I'm beyond sick with this. I voted for him. Trump fatigue. Trust me, I am too. I am tired of this motherfucker. QQQ lost all gains from the last 10 days in 10 minutes. No way. Are we down that bad right now? My stocks are all fine. We're not that bad right now. Are you crazy? No shot. Hold up. You guys are now confusing me. Is there a future sector somewhere? Hello? You might need to add more stuff over here, boys. Okay. Okay, yeah, we can just go look at the... But this is like 15 minutes delayed. That's the shitty part. Okay, there you go. That's not 10 days worth of gains, bro. Come on. What are you saying? That's like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not 10 days worth of gains. Come on, man. You scared the crap out of me over there. We're down 0.5% on the NASDAQ futures. That's nothing. Guys, 0.5%? The market needs to pull back like 5% before it can go on a new bull run. And we're scared about 0.5%? Come on, ladies and gentlemen. That should not be we're fearful. Obviously, yes, Trump does make things worse. Makes us all scared about everything. So not fun, not fun. We were here on May 30th. I think I'm on Think or Swim. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, this is also 15 minutes delayed, so we could have been much lower than this. You know, we're probably much lower than this already, but this is 15 minutes delayed because I don't pay for futures data. I don't trade futures, so I don't pay for futures data on TradingView. Let me see if I can pull it up on Yahoo Finance. How low are we right now in the market? Oh, or investing.com? We're barely down, brother. We're down 0.5% on the Dow. We're down 0.5% on the S&P 500. Where's the NASDAQ? NASDAQ? Back up? What? What am I seeing right now? It says Canada to face 35% tariffs on August 1st. And then we'll get another delay or whatever the heck he does. We'll see. Okay, you know what? We are red. I'm not gonna like downplay the fact that the market gave up those gains. But I think just as you are fatigued by Trump, I am also fatigued by Trump, and so is the market. The market has been kind of shaking off all of this nonsense from Trump recently, so we'll see what happens. Look, all my stocks are still green. I am only red in A-Lab, and none of them have pulled back big time like I thought they would if the market was going down. So I'm okay. That's all that matters. I'm okay. As long as I'm okay, I don't care. Alright, that's the end of today's stream, ladies and gentlemen. I don't see anything else over here for me to talk about. Good job, Pratt. Thank you, sir. Mr. Pratt making Levi good as always. Thank you. I'm not saying your name, but thank you. Fohammer, John, TH, Josh, Dieter, Barkit, Victor. Who else am I missing? Anybody else? We got Rick. Ricky Rick in the house, and nobody in on the Kick chat. So all my streams right there. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for watching. Real quick, let me go take a look at the econ calendar, and we'll call it for the night. Econ calendar showing us an absolutely dead Friday, which is beautiful. Trade your levels, trade your stocks, trade your charts, and enjoy a profitable Friday. I will see you guys Monday for a brand new episode. It's been wonderful. And have a good night. Peace. TraderPrad, I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. It might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow, as you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.